We are back with the music. Today is not Friday to Erev Shabbos. We're turning on Friday into Erev Shabbos, and so happy that you are with me as we're climbing that mountain and counting up to Kabbalah's HaTorah. And we do that through Shabbos. Sheva Shabbosos Tmimos Tiyena doesn't just mean 7 complete weeks of counting. It means Sheva Shabbosos, that we observe, we keep, we experience 7 Shabboses that are Tmimos. These aren't ordinary Shabboses or ordinary weeks. These are Shabboses that are Tamim. They're extraordinary. They're complete. They're whole. They're pure. So these Shabboses, all the Shabboses of the year are special. These Shabboses are particularly special as they're Tamim. I want to thank our very generous sponsors of Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos, our dear friends Mendy and Sipora Fishman, Sipora memory of Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Rav Yaakov Tzvi Ben David Aryeh. As we're trying to observe these Shabboses that are Tamim, I want to learn with you a beautiful piece that came out from Avram Shor, Mori Verabi, in his Ne'eser HaShabbos, the new newsletter that he's been providing. And we've learned parts of this before, but it's a new insight and a new breakthrough in it, one that is particularly relevant. The Torah, the Gemara rather, in Beitza Daf Tezayin tells us the word Vayi Nafash, Vai of the Nefesh. Don't read the word Vayi Nafash, Hashem rested on the 7th day, but Vai of the Nefesh. The word Vai means Oivei, woe, woe unto me that I lost my soul, my extra soul. And the Gemara Darshan is based on this, that on Shabbos we are endowed with an extra soul, an Neshama Yisera. We spent many of our Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos trying to share different interpretations, understandings, perspectives on what it means to have a neshama that is a seira, a soul that is expanded, a soul that is picking up the signal, a soul that is open, a soul that is inspired, a soul that is elevated. Vai avda nefesh. But the Heilige Baal Shem Tov asked, Lama omrim remezat chilas haShabbos v'lo b'motzei b'tzei Shabbos. That pasuk of Vai avda nefesh, of Vayinafash is at the beginning of Shabbos. So why would we learn about the extra soul that we have and the fact that woe unto me for losing the extra soul? When do we lose the additional soul? On Motzei Shabbos. On Erev Shabbos, we get the extra soul. On Erev Shabbos, we go into Shabbos endowed with the additional soul. So Vayinafash, we should learn from a pasuk on Motzei Shabbos. In fact, that's why Havdalah, we use Besamim. At Havdalah, we use the Besamim in order to comfort ourselves, strengthen ourselves from the loss of that Neshama that's Yisera, just like the Neshama first came to us through our nostrils, through our nose, Vayipach B'apav, God breathed life into us. When we lose the extra soul through our nostrils, so we take in the pleasant Besamim in order to comfort, in order to strengthen ourselves for the loss of that additional soul. So when we lose the additional soul on Motzei Shabbos, so the Limud, we should learn that you have a Neshama that's Yisera on Motzei Shabbos, not Erev Shabbos. As I reflect the Baal Shem Tov, this was the question of the Baal Shem. The Heilige Vasemis writes, quote, every Shabbos, there is the light that is still glowing, the light that is still illuminating from Kabbalah HaTorah, from Har Sinai. That light that comes in, that inspiration, that message, that signal that we pick up is still coming from the mountain. The signal was so strong, Har Sinai, Kabbalah HaTorah, Shavuos, we stood at the mountain and Hashem spoke to us. Directly, he spoke to us. So that signal was so strong straight from him, it continues to come. He bechinas neshama yiser shomer chazal pasuk vayinafash voy av the nefesh mikan shenitin l'adam neshama yiser u'makshal only came Motzei Shabbos achlios vayinafash haremezu kana. Said this Vasem is the following: Kisheba neshama yiser roan masha avadnu ayidei achet. When the neshama yiser comes, when we are awake and alive, when we are aroused, when we are inspired, when we feel what it means to have a neshama that's plugged in, that's tuned in, that's alive, now we say, where's it been? What happened? Why is it only right now? If a person doesn't feel well, they're under the weather, and they feel better, it's the feeling better. They go, oh my goodness, only now do I realize how not well I felt. Now that my energy is back, now that I can breathe again, now that I'm feeling better, only now do I realize what was wrong and what was missing. When we have the Neshama Yisera, we realize, why is it only on Shabbos I see clarity, I see truth, I feel confidence? Why is it only on Shabbos that I'm present and I'm mindful and my Neshama is not competing with tasks and to do and technology and this world? The Neshama, it's the presence of the Neshama Yisera that gives us the clarity of what was missing. When Shabbos comes, we say, 6 days a week I was walking around in a haze. For 6 days, I've been in a fog. For 6 days, my neshama has been struggling to pick up the signal. And now the Heilig is Shabbos. Baruch Hashem, Shabbos has come. I turned off the technology and all that noise. Now I can finally hear. Now I can think. Now I can be. Vai of the nefesh. So that's why it's not on Motzei Shabbos that we feel and see and are sad about the Neshama Yisera leaving. It's on Erev Shabbos when the Neshama Yisera comes that we realize, ooh, wow, now I know what it means to be awake, alive. Now I know what it means to be feeling. Now I know what it means to be inspired. Where's that been? 6 days I've been in a coma. 6 days I've been numb. 6 days my neshama has been competing for attention. And now I know what it means to have a neshama like Yisera, vay of the nefesh, not on Motzei Shabbos that I lost a neshama Yisera from Shabbos, says as Fasemes, vay of the nefesh, that all week long I lost my neshama. All week long my neshama, maybe it was looking at shmutz, maybe my neshama was slacking or lacking, maybe my neshama was underperforming and underachieving. All week long my neshama was struggling, it couldn't pick up the signal. Vayinafash vay of the nefesh. Now that I have a neshama that's Yisera, says as fast emes, it's not about losing it on Shabbos. It's about what we didn't have, what was missing all week. But you see, what's the neshama Yisera? The neshama Yisera is a chemda hishtokakus. Vayinafash vay of the nefesh. B'yimei ha'maisa never also a tshuka v'haratzon. All week long we have a tshuka, a yearning and a ratzon and a will and a drive. More money, more things, more success, more fun, more. All of a sudden comes Shabbos and we realize I can direct my tshuka and my ratzon. Shabbos is the time of ratzon. And Shabbos we have shalashidus, raiva deraiven, ratzon shebertzonos. And so, I dekoach HaShabbos zochen legilu hanefesh, haratzon v'hishtokikos. When Shabbos comes in, we should have a clarity. Shabbos comes in, no more static and no more noise. Shabbos comes in, we're picking up the signal. Vay of the nefesh. What was missing all week long, now we have in abundance on Shabbos. Achevra. Oy. Sheva Shabbosos Tamimos. What this means is that to experience whole and complete and Tamimos Shabbos, what that means is that Friday, today, we turn our Friday into Erev Shabbos, withdraw, pull back from the world. Whether it's through Tosefes Shabbos, bring Shabbos in early, but disconnect to connect. Already begin to feel the extra neshama coming in early. Disconnect. Technology, to-do, tasks, noise, static. Disconnect from all of that. So the neshama can be nourished, it can feel, the neshama can blossom. That's what it means to turn Friday into Erev Shabbos. We turn Friday into Erev Shabbos by removing and eliminating the static and the noise. The neshama can be Yisera. Begin to feel the extra neshama. Break out of that funk and that fog, that numbness and that coma. Break out of the neshama competing for attention and priorities. Let the neshama be central. Let the neshama be primary. What does that mean? It means Friday afternoon, Mar Besedra, learn the Pasha, prepare a Dvar Torah. It means Friday, stop listening to whatever else you're listening to, comedy or podcast, put on something kadosh, put on holy music that moves and stirs the neshama, put on a Dvar Torah, a shir, something to prepare you for Shabbos. It means that the neshama on Friday afternoon, we turn Friday into Erev Shabbos by already releasing the neshama so that it can feel Yisera, it can grow large and big. We should be zocha. For these Shabboses, we're running out. 2 more. That are Sheva Shabbosos Tamimos, these Shabbos that are Tamim, whole and complete and holy and healthy. It should be a Shabbos that brings with it Besoros Tovos Yeshuas V'Nechamos for us and for Klal Yisrael. Shabbos,